Good morning. Okay, so it's Saturday the 15th of February. Sorry, no video for the last 2 days. I've got good reasons, stroke excuses. So yeah, so Thursday I kind of got waylaid by a couple of phone calls that went on for a bit. That's just life, hanging out with people online. And some good things came out of that. So firstly, I was waiting for the delivery of a couple of bits and pieces. One was the adapter for the EOS M, so I can now put the standard Canon lenses from my T3i. So I've got, including the new 50mm 4 lenses and a macro adapter, which kind of makes it 5 lenses, which isn't bad. Where is that? So I've got 3, 4, yeah. So I've got the 50mm, I've got the 25mm for the EOS M, an 18-55 kit lens, which is the sort of like the minimum lens you can have with a DSLR really, and a zoom lens and a macro adapter. So that's all cool. So now those lenses will work on both cameras and use autofocus, but I'm not a huge fan. Yes, what else? So yeah, and I was talking to Rembimon, or Graffen if you've been with Rangers for a very long time, and he's doing a shoot in a couple of weeks, and I only just about found out about it, and he was kind enough to invite me along. So that's quite an interesting Saturday. That's going to be a whole long day of shooting, so hopefully I'll learn a lot. The river's busy but not bad. It didn't really rain last night. So yes, it is slightly raining, but it may not be possible. I mean, if it's torrential tomorrow morning, there won't be a video tomorrow. But if there isn't, I'll see if I can get out, because it does you good. Out for a walk in the woods, in the mud, in the rain, so you appreciate spring and summer. So yeah, so those things turned up and I got that sorted. And then I had to do a little horse trading in order to get that Saturday off. So I had to trade away my Friday off for a day where I'm going to be running around for the whole day, but it should be good. Yeah, I had to sort of, even out my hours, so I then went in and did an extra little bit of a shift last night, washing dishes, and that meant, so yesterday morning, this is why there wasn't any video yesterday. Yesterday morning I got up at 7, well, 7:15, pulled clothes on, ran out the door, got the bus, went to Manchester, went over to my friend's house in Yorkshire to help put in and saw up more wood and carry and schlep stuff basically. So yes. And then when I got back, it was about 7:30 by the time I got into Manchester. Went straight into work, finished up the shift and didn't get out of there till 11. Got home at midnight and I went to sleep. So yes, let's do it a little bit. So yeah, so that was fun. And you always get me not looking at the camera because I'm looking at where I'm going because it's muddy. So yeah, so yesterday was just a non-stop day, from literally from the moment I opened my eyes to the moment I went to bed. So I got up nice and early this morning. Figured I could laze in bed for an hour watching YouTube videos, or I could get up, get dressed, get some breakfast and get out. So yeah, so that was a cool thing. So that was 2 fairly action-packed days. Obviously Thursday night I was working as well, and that was a long shift. So yes. So back on track, getting a video out, hopefully getting a video out tomorrow morning, as other than working a semi-normal shift. I was out doing the thing. So yeah, so today and tomorrow are going to be steady but tomorrow the weather could be atrocious. And you know, you guys bought me this rig that I'm using, and essentially, you know, everything that I do, you know, all the Patreon money I get goes on camera equipment, so I can kind of try and make this better. And we're at a stage now where things are better, you know, camera wise and video wise, and I just want to get more creative. So I made a few more purchases on Thursday just to see if I can't like up my game, improve how all this stuff looks. And obviously the vlogging stuff is going to be as quick and easy to edit as possible and as steady, so there's never going to be much in the way of cinematic camera effects. But you know, it's nice to make things look nice. You know, if all you're doing is a review of a piece of gear, but it looks nice and you've got it all set up and you're showing off what you're trying to talk about to the best advantage, then you know, it's worth a little bit of extra money, a little bit of thought. But for vlogging, you know, you're just doing your diary. As far as exercise goes, I have been doing some exercise, though not running. I hate running in the wet. I just don't want to get wet and cold, and I also don't want to get, you know, seized up because I've been overheating and then I'm suddenly too cold, and it just saps your will to live. So instead, what I've been doing is I've been working on my arms when I'm at work. So 7 kilo dumbbell. On Thursday night I managed 200 arm curls on each arm and 40 overhead lifts on each arm, and some stretching exercises because I'm getting old. So I use the 7 kilo weight to do a kind of dorsal lift where you drop the 7 kilo weight on your arms behind your back, then you lean back as far as you can, and then you slowly straighten up, and the extra tension kind of realigns your spine a little bit, or mine anyway. If you have spinal problems, don't come to me for advice, go to a doctor, you idiot. Science. Anyway, so yeah, rain's picking up a little bit, and it's kind of here to stay for at least a week or so. But yeah, so that's what we're doing. So next week is a normal work week. I'll have Friday off. I ain't going anywhere. Yeah, yesterday was pretty frenetic, but you get days like that. There just absolutely wasn't enough time to shoot any footage, and I was too tired. So by the time I'd helped and done and lifted and carried and helped saw stuff up, one thing I can say for Andrew is that he does like his power tools. So I've had fun, you know, with a few air tools and a track saw, all kinds of stuff like that. So yes, but it was busy and it was far, far away. But yes, it's a long day. So forgive me if tomorrow when I wake up and the weather's atrocious that there's no video. I did work out a few things. I had some intense tinkering with Magic Lantern on the EOS M. I need to go back to the T3i and similarly muck about with Magic Lantern. So yeah, so the good thing about those two cameras is they've got the same sensor and the same logic processor, which means that the colours that you get are going to be pretty much the same, so you won't have a sudden jarring thing. And I have noticed that the colours on the action camera and the T3i and the EOS M are fairly close, which makes editing a lot better. So with that in mind, when I do go and do some work with Rembimon in 2 weeks, I think I'm going to have a go at seeing if I can bring along the vlogging rig and see if we can do a little bit of behind the scenes as well. That sounds fun, doesn't it? But yeah, and a few more surprises, and next week should yield some interesting footage, because I've got a few things to play with and a few things to experiment with. So yeah, and it's time all my camera stuff was organised. I need to make sure I can lay my hands on all the batteries, because I've had a few instances of looking for things when I've been working on something or trying to assemble something or try something out, and yeah, when you look for things you tend to make everywhere untidy. So I would very much like to get closer to my dream of an indoor studio, and then I can get some stuff out to you, which would be great, because I've got lots of things to review. I've got lots of kit. I've got quite a few projects. There's things that I want to go into. I'd love to do a video on 3D printing. Although, I mean, there are people that do 3D printing stuff, but they never really go through the entire process. So yeah, and that's something that's going to come up later in the year. I think I'm going to probably buy a new 3D printer so that I can get better results every time, because I'm getting some crappy results mostly because of the heating bed on the printer that I've got. So a lot of my prints warp or fail because it's a fairly weird printer. I didn't buy the most common one. So if you're thinking of buying a large piece of equipment, it's well worth watching a few YouTube videos on it first before you jump in. But it did enable me to get printing right away. I literally switched the thing on, got a 3D print model and ran it to the printer, and then 4 hours later I had a very good 3D print, and I wouldn't trade that for anything. That first off level of success certainly beat out anything that I would have done making a kit. And if I'd bought a kit printer, I would never really have known if it was me assembling it badly or the kit printer not being a good printer. So yeah. So yeah, this is a pretty short video because I'm very short of time, but yeah, next week I'm hoping there should be more videos, and maybe some indoor video if I can steel myself for tidying. So yeah, just clambering up. And once I've got the studio done, there'll be lots of test shots, after which I shall value your input. Yeah, so thanks for your comments on the on Wednesday's video. Comments are good. Makes me feel like I'm not just throwing electrons into the void. And I think that's where I'm going to leave it, because the rain's really picking up now. So thanks for watching, and do take care. Oh, and where am I going? Who's coming with me? And never mess up the order. See ya.